Daddy's taking video?
Daddy's taking video.
Video. They're doing the walk.
Sorry.
Oh, okay.
Hi.
Tell your mom
The
I'm
birthday girl
leaving.
is here.
Girl is here.
Birthday
Noah.
girl is here.
All right, go behind me. Go behind me.
We can lower the temperature now.
I turned off the heat.
Good.
Okay, we're backing up. Why don't you set everything up again?
Ladies and gentlemen,
If you're on the Upper West Side, of course we're going to go to
thank you everybody for coming. This is one of those special moments. And I think that we realize at some point that life is a collection of moments, and we collect them as we go. And they all have this special meaning, and I really feel that today is one of those days. But it also makes us think back to all the moments we've shared. It's now 23 years for Hashem that we have TT, and it's been a long ride, I would say, but it's been an amazingly meaningful ride with you. And as everybody knows, anybody who's heard the song "My Little One," we found out that when Alicia was pregnant with Tehila, that there were going to be challenges, and it was a difficult time. And of course, when Tehila was born, it seemed like really our fears were realized that she was born with a lot of very difficult challenges. She was very sick, and they even told us that we shouldn't really expect her to survive. We told the doctors that Hashem, God will decide. You know what Hashem. She's not Yiddishkeit, but she knows all about Yiddishkeit from Uncle Maishi. Tehila's faithful nurse, the one, by the way, who was with her when she
Yay, Diane!
So this is Diane. Diane, we depended on Diane. She was so good to us, so good to Tehila. And this is a good time, I guess, to thank you for all that.
Thank you.
And so she didn't only pay attention to Tehila, she knew all her videos. And from Uncle Maishi, she basically got a Jewish education. So she knows all the holidays, she knows many expressions, you know, and mostly she knows who Hashem is. He's here, he's there, and
He's everywhere.
So what happened after that, you know, after the doctors told us, well, really don't expect that she's going to be coming home with you, and we reconciled ourselves to whatever it was going to be. But then, of course, Tehila had her own plans, and she somehow defied everybody, and we brought her home. What we also didn't expect is how we were going to become enchanted with this child. How she was going to affect our lives. And how, you know, I didn't realize that I could love anything as much as Tehila. She was special. She became the center of our universe. And so for 4 months, we had Tehila home. And it was like a dream, because they told us that we would never have her. And every day it was just something else we saw, the presence, the light in her eyes and everything. She was just amazing. And then one day our world came crashing in. And so she ended up in the hospital in St. Barnabas in very critical condition. And there we were again. It's like just everything, you know, turned dark. And thank God again, she's a miraculous child. She rallied, and we got her out of the hospital, and we got her to Mountainside, the pediatric facility in Mountainside. And she was just enchanted everybody, enchanted all the nurses. And there was one night that I'll remember always, is that Rav David Goldwasser was doing a book signing on Route 22 at Barnes & Noble. His first book had just come out, and I went over to hear Rav David at the book signing. By the way, I think I was the only one wearing a yarmulke besides your family. It was amazing to see. And I said to Rav David, you know, Tehila, because he had heard about Tehila, but he had never met Tehila. She was a baby, and we had met under other circumstances. But I said, Tehila's right up the road. It was like 11 o'clock at night. And you said, I'm coming, right? And so we went over to Mountainside together, and it was too late for visitors, but they let the father in, and they took a look at Rav David with his beard, and they said, go. We're not challenging this man. This man has something, and we don't know what it is, but he's going in. And so we went, and we saw Tehila together in the respiratory unit. I showed you where she was in the corner. There was no light in the room, but there was light coming from her. And so this was really one of the most amazing moments, because Rav David put his head down next to Tehila for several minutes. I don't remember how long it was, but it seemed like a long time. And when he got up from Tehila, he was emotional. I said, Rav David, what? So he said to me something I liked, and he never explained. He said, Myra, I'm not going to tell you who this person is. That was amazing. Responsible for that. And to tell, I mean, I know I'm speaking a long time, but this is also important, because our lives came crashing in again. She was doing so well, and then we got a call from Voorhees Pediatric Facility. They were actually trying out on a new vent, whatever. They called it, she's in cardiac arrest. Alicia was actually there with her. I was on the way. And we had to airlift her in a helicopter to Philadelphia. And so we went out with Tehila to the helipad, and they were loading her in. She was not doing well. She had stopped breathing for a very long time. And they said to, Alicia was getting into the helicopter, they said, no, you can't come, only medical personnel. So she steps back, and they take off Tehila, and we watch the light rising into the sky, and we look at each other. It's about 12 o'clock at night, in the middle of the helipad, pitch dark. We don't know what to do. We look at, what do we do? We don't know if she's going to be alive when she lands. Called Rav David. So I said, Rav David, they just took off the Tehila, standing on a helipad. And they're taking her to Philadelphia. We don't know if she's going to be alive when she gets there. Rav David said to me, you know the story, Ravira, I promise you, we'll dance together at her bas mitzvah. And then we had the song that I wrote for Tehila, My Little One, which made her very famous. And I just have to say something that, you know, there's something about that song that came together in such a way that I knew that it was beyond me. How quickly it came, it just fell on my head whole. Performing it at Madison Square Garden with the orchestra and the Steinway piano and the whole thing, and the video guys in the air in front of me and everything. And I said to myself at that moment, things don't just happen like this. And this little girl, playing with her toys, smiling, singing and being happy and just being her little, she conducts an orchestra. She gave me my little one. She gave us Rav David. She controls a lot of things. And we started to think about the world differently because we think that we control things. So we have ideas about what success is and what a successful life is. And then Hashem sends us Tehila, and we learn how to think about things very differently. How many things that, from her little place, the huge effect she's had on so many people. And then there was Tehila's Bas Mitzvah. And we danced. And Uncle Maishi came. And it was amazing. What David promised we'd get to our Bas Mitzvah, we did, and then 5 years later our world collapsed again. And the truth is that after that happened, I mean, we didn't even know how to tell people about this because we know how many people now are connected with her. Tehila's connection. How she used to visit her as a baby, and all these years she was a part of your life. And because of, by the way, Tehila, also anybody wants to know that the Abrahams live in Hillside because of Tehila. That Tehila, big Tehila, used to visit little Tehila before she was married. She used to go to Voorhees with her friends and spend Shabbatot with her and all these things. And then later on, she became friends with us, and because of that friendship, they moved to Hillside. So really, you can trace a lot of things back to Tehila. And then after that happened, we didn't know how to tell people, so I wrote this blog, and I was sending out updates on her and everything, because I knew how many people would want to know how she's doing. And the truth is, after a while, that blog consumed me in a way that I couldn't continue it anymore, because there would come times when I would feel like I had to write, and Alicia could tell you that I would get consumed for hours, and I would write and I would send it out, and I would be completely exhausted from it. And I realized that these inspirations were coming from Tehila. If I felt that I had to write something, I immediately said, you know what, Tehila needs to communicate, and I've got to write it and send it out. And that's really the way I felt about it. And that's my only way of explaining it. So, let's come to this special day. Clearly, we don't have a special day with this without Rav David Goldwasser, who is in constant contact with us. He knows what Tehila is doing all the time. He sometimes comes to visit her, and I don't even know until after I get a picture and I see that they were together. This is an unbelievably unusual and deep bond that they had. So, I want to thank everybody for sharing this with us, because this is important, and everybody here is important to us. And, you know, we think about moments, and we think about what can be tomorrow. So, every moment like this is a message of savoring the moment. By the way, thank you to Shana. Shana didn't know Tehila when she was up and about, and I have to say that Alicia and I are so grateful to Shana, because we've had some rough patches in the last few years with Tehila going in and out of the hospital, and she's been not only coming to visit Tehila when she's well and talks to her, she tells her about her day and all that, but she eyeballs, and she's got a very good medical sense, as order of a doctor. And so anytime she senses something going wrong, we get a text, we know that Shane is on it, and sometimes she'll stay with her, she'll go to the hospital with her, whatever, to make sure that everything that she's taking care of forms a circle of protection around her. It's really unbelievable. So, about the moments, you don't know what's going to be tomorrow. And perfect illustration, I just remember things like when one time I was working in the house, and I set Tehila up with her toys, and she was chattering and trying to talk to me, and I was just too busy to sit down and talk to her. And she was just being so cute. She was saying so many things, and you know, on the normal story, I just sat there and just had the, you know, the give and take, because she was just a funny, cute little girl. She used to interact and everything, and I missed it. I missed it. And I think back to that. One thing I didn't miss is that the day that this happened to her in school is that I was running out to a meeting. I was really late, and it's unusual. And what? And I was halfway out the door, and I said to myself, I didn't sing Hoda'ah with Tehila and give her a hug, because every morning we would do that. I would come in, she knew the routine, she'd reach out, grab my neck, pull me in, she'd go, honey, and she used to sing, whatever. So I ran back in, I gave her a hugs, and then I got the call while I was on the way to work that this happened. So we don't always get do-overs, you know? This is the day that we really have to realize that we have to appreciate everything we have, everybody we have, because we really don't know what happens tomorrow. We're making this Seudat because we're grateful for what we have today. We're grateful that we have Tehila. We didn't choose how things happened when she was born. We didn't choose for what happened 5.5 years ago. But I think Alicia and I will agree and say to all of you really with a true heart is that if we would do it all over again, there's nothing we would change. We wouldn't plan it like this, but we have such a tremendous gift from Hashem because Tehila, our little Tehila, has moved worlds with her existence even. So here's my do-over. I have regret. I was just telling Rav David that when we brought in Uncle Maishi, he was a regular. He sang in a house for her. He had him. By the way, I'm sorry I called you the Azars at the bus mitzvah. There's my do-over there. The Abrahams. I thank the Azars. Tehila Azar is the maiden name, and I thank the Azars. Where's Yuri? I have to apologize. Oh, there you are. And so I thought to myself, of course not in time, afterwards, that was the opportunity for Tehila to have her standing ovation. Because, you know, when I performed my little one the first time, and by the way, do you remember when you introduced me at Madison Square Garden? David was the one who introduced me to that song. And we went up, 6,000 people in the room, and to have a standing ovation from 6,000 people, and that went on and on. And I don't know how many people get that, but that's a moment. And I had never had another moment in my music career like that. That was the moment. But whose moment really was it? It's Tehila's moment. It's Tehila's song. We're orchestrating it. She's the conductor. So, before Rav David speaks, and Rav David, I think, really sum everything up as Rav David does, I want to give Tehila a standing ovation. She really knows it. She really knows it. Rav David.
After just listening to Rabbi, it is almost impossible to say anything. On the level of Kedusha and holiness and all that he says, and all that Alicia says, it's almost impossible to add anything. I'm just going to finish up and make a small conclusion. First, I got to add that when Rabbi made the song, a producer that was in Madison Square Garden walked over to me and said, he made that song? I said, yes. He himself? I said, yes. So he says, a song like that is a gift from God that people do not have in this world. He could not, a producer, a huge producer. And that took everyone. And a number of people heard it over. I just, you know, it's impossible for me to talk about, unless I would have a few hours, really, to speak about Tehila, to speak about her parents, to speak about grandparents, Mrs. Heller, Mrs. Sauerhoff. There some incredible people, unbelievable. Chizkiyahu was ill. Chizkiyahu was ill. Yeshaya Hanavi, the prophet, came and made a yeshiva at the doorway to where Chizkiyahu was. Rashi says it was a yeshiva for Talmidim, for students. The question was asked by Rav Unterman, what else do you have a yeshiva for? Yeshivas for students, to be able to teach. He says the following, a lot of people think that chas v'shalom, someone's not doing well, God forbid, so you go to the great rabbis, so you go to the heads of the generation. No. Yeshayahu says, go to the people. Get everybody to pray. Get everyone to do acts of chesed. Get everybody to learn. That is what's going to bring the refuah for Chizkiyahu. So many people were rallied together all through the years to pray. It's at the head. I was in Europe, and it was on the top of the list in Poland, in Warsaw, the name. I was other places where they said, do you know who this is? We don't know, but we're praying every day. In California, everybody band together to do acts of chesed. Students that I had, that I met from all over, had already undertaken certain kabbalot, certain resolutions for her. It's an amazing thing. Zobeach toda yechavdonani. When we have an occasion like this to give thanks, so it's interesting, it says kavod after kavod, honor after honor. And the answer that the Mefarshim say, why is it honor after honor? Because it is an honor to be able to give thanks, to for the continued good health. Because even that which brought about the need to pray, even that not so great thing that brought about the need for everybody band together, it brought bigger emunah in the world, bigger faith, bigger recognition of Hashem's providence in this world. I cannot tell you that Ira and Alicia are a dugma for everybody. They're a dugma for me. I learn from them. I can't even get over the things that they do. I cannot get over their Mesirat Nefesh for Tehila, for their kids, for Klal Yisrael. Rabara went, he became a lawyer. I knew, forget about it. He's going to take every case, every hard luck case. He's going to have Rahmanut on everything. This shul needs a lawyer. They don't have any money. It's for the Klal. Only for the Klal. Very small little incident happened. The great Rebbe of Chernobyl moved to Yerushalayim. He immigrated. He lives in the Holy Land, and they had a sukkah outside. The sukkah was amazing. It was brought from Europe to Israel, the wood. And on the wood there were certain holy names of Hashem, certain shemot that they put. Reb Shmuel of Salant, the Rav of Yerushalayim, couldn't see. And when he would walk past, he would say, what is that over there? And they would tell him it's a sukkah. He says, there is the reach of Gan Eden. There is the fragrance of Gan Eden. And everybody knew the sukkah was so special. Everybody would stop and look at it and stay for a minute or run in. That happened for years. One day, the sukkah was gone. And everybody wondered who stole the sukkah. No one would have ever taken it. No one would have ever moved it. It was there. Finally, the Chernobyler said the following. There was a little girl who was ill. And the doctor said for her to have a refuah, that she needs to have certain medicines, and that she needs certain baths, and you'd have to have enough wood and coal to heat it up, and the parents couldn't afford it. So the great rabbi of Chernobyl sold the sukkah, sold the wood, and gave the money for the girl to have the refuah, to have a healing. He gave up everything that he owned in this world. If I would tell you that Rabira and Alicia give up every single thing that they have in this world for this neshama, you can believe me. They called me, I think, 4 weeks ago. So Alicia's leaving the hospital on Friday, and Ira's coming to the hospital. And Ira says, I'm not sure, I hope that I'll bump into her. That's their life. Mesirat nefesh for a child. Spend the Shabbos, and Ira, I just had him before Shabbos singing Zemiros already together with Neshama Tehila. And it's a fascinating thing. Rav Shlomo Zalman Auerbach says, when you say Mizmor L'Soda, the Thanksgiving prayer in the morning, he says, I don't understand why you don't sing. You sing Kel Adon, you sing L'Chododi, you should sing Mizmor L'Soda. Ira and Alicia, they sing Mizmor L'Soda every day of their life. Every day. They should keep on singing. The Gematria, and everybody here, everybody, the friends and everybody band together, and the people all over the world. She is the uniting force. The Gematria of Neshama Tehila Bas Chana is the same Gematria, same numerical equivalent as Ta'azim Shavosenu. May Hashem hear the prayers of everybody here. Hashem hear the prayer of Tehila Neshama Tehila. And Be'ezer Hashem, we should continue to see Mosim, great things happen, in great news, in good health. Mashiach Tzidkenu should come, in which everyone will have a complete refuah, that we can all sing and we can all dance together. We can all celebrate and tell Hashem thank you for the beautiful life, L'orach Yomim Tovim, that came into us.
Look into my window, step into my world, hear a story about my little girl. Just a heartbeat in the darkness, a blip upon a screen. Oh, what a joy it was to watch your world unfold. Together we sat and pondered the miracle of life, when suddenly, so unexpectedly, the doctor burst into the room with terror in her eyes. Something isn't going right in her little world. Will she ever see the sunset, hear the rustle of the trees? Will she ever feel the raindrops, my little one? Will she know me when I hold her? Will her arms reach out for me? Does she know how much I pray for her? Will she ever pray for me? They sent us to the experts and their finely tuned machine for a better look at our little girl. How I wished that I could talk to you to tell you it's all right, but your warm little world had turned so dark and cold. There we waited fearfully, wanting just to ask, can things be right with our little girl? But the doctor looked across his desk with pity in his eyes. He slowly shook his head. No is what he said. Will she ever see the sunset, hear the rustle of the trees? Will she ever feel the raindrops, my little one? Will she know me when I hold her? Will her arms reach out for me? Does she know how much I pray for her? Will she ever pray for me? From the darkness, she stepped into our world, began the story about our little girl. The room was filling with the light, streaming from her eyes, a face so filled with wisdom, she watched our world unfold. The story hasn't yet been told about this little girl, but one thing is very clear to me. A teacher surely has arrived from my God above to show me what is right and wrong in my little world. So when I see the sunset or hear the rustle of the trees, I thank Hashem for my little one. And every time I hold her, I feel her heart reach out for me. And I'm learning how to pray for her the way she prays for me. Yes, I'm learning how to pray for her the way she prays for me. Thank you, oh hell, very much for giving us this night. And thank you for sharing in our world. There are so many little ones who share your gift of love. We are all hell's children. Welcome to our world. We are all hell's children. Welcome to our world.